Welcome, Leo, to your Pisces new moon 1 month forecast for the ascendant, the sun, or the moon. At 28 degrees, this is the seventh but final successive new moon at that degree. What a sequence! But it also occurs right at the end of the overall zodiac, which has rich symbolism. But what does it mean for you, Leo? Your ruler, the sun, is right at the heart of every lunation. But what's the significance this time? I'm going to share your event chart on screen. By the end of the forecast, you'll have a clear picture of what you can expect over the next 4 weeks in terms of relationships, finance, energy, and work. I'm astrologer Patrick Arundell. A very warm welcome. If you've yet to subscribe to the channel, please do so now to help it to continue to thrive. So, your ruler is the king of the sky, the sun. But the moon's very much to do with empathy. It's more receptive. But because this is a water new moon, and the moon rules the water sign of Cancer, the moon's pretty comfortable in the sign of Pisces, can be rather sensitive, but also the combination of the sun and the moon is in that last 10 degrees of the sign of Pisces, and that decan is ruled by Mars. Mars can be about passion. The host may be about emotion and sensitivity, but for you, the eighth house can be about transformation. It can be about things that you're investing more deeply in, where you're becoming more devoted, potentially romantically, but it can be absolutely the opposite. It can be where things are deconstructing, coming to a close and an end. So we also have Mars, the planet of passion, which is the traditional ruler of the sign of Scorpio. So very much an echo of that eighth house energy, also in the sign. And over the last few days, as Mars has been powering through Pisces, it may have made you much more conscious of some yearnings, maybe for a big ticket item, maybe someone you're finding mesmeric and hard to get out of your mind. Some kind of impulse may have been heightened by Mars. But also Mercury, since the 6th of February, has been in Pisces and isn't very happy there. So if you have been talking about shared finances, investments, legacies, inheritances, property situations, those may have been snared or bogged down by the watery vibe of Pisces, and clarity may have been elusive. But Mercury is going direct on the vernal equinox, the day after today, and it is in a very powerful link to the point of destiny. So, whatever you're thinking about in terms of where you feel pulled is a clue of how you can set your intentions in a positive way on this event, because we know that's what new moons can help us to do. So, for example, if you did want to transform your situation by putting more into it, there's a great opportunity, particularly around your long-term finances, and especially if you're more entrepreneurial, because Uranus, the planet of disruption, which has been at the top of your chart for 7 years, all but 4 months last year, is forging a fabulous link to these guys. So if there is something where your instinct is guiding you, you can see into a situation by getting beneath the surface, very eighth house, but at the same time, it gives you a chance to approach things in a fresh or unique way. A business idea you have at the moment just could catch really fire. But also, we have Jupiter, the traditional ruler of the sign of Pisces, in a very strong alliance with Mars. Now, Jupiter has been tracking through a much more psychological part of your scope since last June. Jupiter is about fortune; it's the greater benefit. But in the sign of Cancer, where it is exalted, it has been in a retrograde until quite recently. And I think you've done a lot of deep thinking over the last 3 or 4 months. But now, with the guidance or insights you gained, you could find yourself much more in touch with your intuition if you're wanting to make some bold decisions, which is Mars and Jupiter combined. So that's encouraging. You also have Pluto, very much to do with transformation itself, right on that seventh house cusp. Relationships for you are going to go through big shifts right through to 243. And Pluto's forging a brilliant link with Saturn, newly arrived, back into the sign of Aries in your ninth house of knowledge. If you are talking to someone who you really respect, and it's someone who has complementary life skills to you, that can be a way that you could feel drawn to them. But the eighth house can also be about compulsion. And if you are finding that someone is proven to be somewhat irresistible, as I mentioned, that may be a person that's a little hard to get out of your mind. So how do you deal with that? The relating planet Venus is in the part of your scope to do with higher truths, forging actually a really lovely link to Jupiter. That suggests that if you listen to a hunch, it could pay off if you're thinking about doing something more speculative. But it also suggests that if you relate to someone at the moment from a purely romantic viewpoint, what you're looking for is a connection that goes beyond just that more magnetic sexual dimension. It may need to be something that has a higher purpose about it to really get you excited. So I think that's entirely possible too. So to recap, Leo, for you, if you're going through something at the moment, a big transformation, and you're finding that your understanding of your psychological circumstances or how you view life or people is deepening at pace, that's going to be a real opportunity for you over the next month. If you're in a situation which you're not enjoying and it does feel like it's entering the end zone, one of the issues with eighth house energy is that if we try to resist it, and remember Pisces is about flow, fluidity, if we try to resist, sometimes it can be futile. There may be something that has just run its course. Could be an interest, could be a lifestyle choice, could be a friendship, it could be a romantic relationship. It may be that when it comes to your professional situation, what you're yearning for is some kind of new start. So the change and the release that's going on with this Pisces energy is clearing the way for when the sun moves into Aries on the vernal equinox. And of course, the sun, your ruler, is exalted in the sign of Aries. It's very much about initiation, new beginnings, and breaking out. But that may not be easy to do initially because of the reception committee of the floating and imperceptible energies of Neptune and the restrictive vibe of Saturn. So if you feel boxed into a situation and you feel your options are rather limited, just know once the sun gets past Saturn, around about a week into its journey through Aries, I do feel that you are going to start to see more options of how you can go forward. So to summarize for you, as far as relationships are concerned, if you're involved with someone where you financially align, you align in a spiritual sense, but also there's a great sense of attraction, that tie could get even stronger and closer. If you're in a relationship where the communication around shared finances, for example, isn't very good, such as a business tie, that may give you a desire to escape that. You might not feel that you have many options right now, but Uranus suggests there could be some developing over the next month, and they could come at the speed of light in a way that you haven't been anticipating. And know with Pluto in your seventh house, there is a sense of fate around all sorts of relationships. How relationships were for you in the past, they're not going to be like that for you through to 243, 244 with Pluto in that seventh house. And just know that link with Saturn suggests if you align with someone whose values, along with Venus, whose values and the basic truthfulness really feels helps you to feel comfortable and secure, that seems very promising. In terms of energy, I think Jupiter being in the 12th house has meant that a lot of your energy has gone into your inner world over the last 8 or 9 months. But just know that Jupiter's coming into your sign at the end of June. And also, we got the most astonishingly powerful total solar eclipse in Leo which is going to give you an incredible opportunity in the second half of this year to structure your stuff in a much more individualistic way. So if some parts of your life feel a bit complex at the moment, know that things are shifting, and they will shift powerfully later this year. If you've yet to watch your Jupiter Direct video, please check that out. If you've yet to watch your Mars in Pisces video, please check that out. You can get your free daily horoscope fired to your device each morning. Enjoy a celestial pit stop early in the day. And please see the link below for more. If you'd like to work with me, please see my testimonials below. You can order your personal horoscopes. The Life Roadmap gives us searing insights to the patterns that have played out in our lives so far, the forecast how to use our time and make moves at the right moment. They're great value, very accurate, totally unique to each person they're produced for. If you apply Astro 26 at the checkout, it's 50% off. If you want the Draconic, Soul, Karmic version, please apply Draco 26 to get 50% off. Thank you so much, Leo. All the best and goodbye.